Hey all, welcome back to Oli Makes. So sticking with the Easter theme we got going on here, we're gonna knock out one of these Easter tombs that I've been seeing. If you look around on Etsy and whatnot, these are kind of getting to be all over the place in different variations. So I figure I'd try my hand at one, and we will go ahead and be making this out of some scrap I got sitting around the shop. So stick around and I'll show you how I do it. Got some scrap pieces here. Here's a little bit of scrap walnut I had kicking around, and some not walnut, some more walnut, and then a length of maple. So we're gonna see what we can't come up with out of this little conglomeration. So I will start with the not maple and just kind of get some sort of rough outline here going. Okay. So, I don't know, kind of picked that up. Boy, these lights just wash everything, fine detail out. So I am going to go ahead and cut this one. And then we'll get it up on this. And then we'll do some outline and the hole. Actually, I'm going to have to run that on the joiner a little bit. Got a little bit of chip out. So let's go ahead and start getting this one taken care of. We got that all done up now. So let's take a look, see. Have to run that on the sander a little bit. So we're getting something along these lines here. So let's see. Go down here a little bit. And see if this can actually pick that up. Not really worth a crap. But we'll go back and do the same thing. Time to do a little light sanding. This should look familiar. Still got her kicking around. I think it will actually work for this to smooth some of this out a little bit. Get some of these sharps rounded over. Okay, that should do what we need, I think. Still got a bit more to go there, but I won't bore you with the sanding. I'll get this going on the sander and I'll be right back. Got these rough sanded. Just busted out the spindle sander, but I know how boring it can be watching that nonsense. But got them rough sanded here. Got most kinks out of them. And this one straightened out, got that peak out of there and whatnot. So we are looking at something along these lines here. And now I do want to have a cross, but while I was sanding, plenty of time to think, I think I might do the 3 crosses. Do one large in the center and then 2 on the side that are a little bit smaller and shorter. And then while I was thinking about that, I'm thinking I don't like the square. So I think I am going to break out the router table and probably put a round over on this. And I'm guessing I'll put some sort of round over on this as well, just so it doesn't have that sharp corner. So let me get the router table set up and we'll get to work on that. Got my router table set up here. I'm going to be putting something like this on it. I already did some testing on this chunk of oak, so nothing too awful drastic. Just a nice little round over on it so it's not square. There, that I like a little bit better. Kind of softens it up a little bit. Have to take some sandpaper to her to get some of the burn off, but overall I do like that. And now I suppose I'll do it with the other one. Okay, it's still a little off on the table setup, so I do got a burr right there that I'll have to knock down, but again, it gives it more of a softer look to it that I think will go pretty good. Yeah, after I get that burr knocked down off that edge, that should be all right. So let's see, what we got left here now is we have to do the crosses and the rock for the tomb. And I do believe, I think I'm just gonna stick with this. It's got a little bit of figuring in it. I'm gonna probably this side just cut a round out and have the bottom be a little flat so I can get this all lined up on the bottom and get it all attached together and glued up. And then I think I will probably put a verse on here. I've seen a couple of them with a verse. I'm not sure what verse, but I will maybe go like that. Not sure which verse I'll do, but I'll do some looking, go through the good book, and see what seems appropriate. So after taking the night to think about it, I think I am going to forego doing the cross. The more research I've done on these projects, everyone's doing the cross. I don't want to make what everyone else is making exactly. So I am going to just go ahead and do the rock. Just going to take a hole saw over to the drill press and get this cut out. And I'm not gonna try to get the camera over there. Well, maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I came to my senses over that after starting to set up that drill press and having a nice talk with myself. There's no way that I'm gonna be able to clamp this wood without it tearing out really bad and all sorts of other squirrely stuff happening. So I think what I'll do is just trace this out and run it out on the bandsaw. That'll be a lot safer and make me a lot less angry when things go completely south. And that should be adequate, I do believe. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work out just fine. So, off to the bandsaw. I'll get this all adjusted in here quick.
We'll hit the dust extraction and we'll get to cutting.
That should do for a quick rough job here. And I will probably break out the spindle sander and finish that off and get her smoothed. And then either take the orbital or sand it by hand. Just kind of took the random orbital to this here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch this, but just did kind of a real light round over. I didn't want to do it on the router table because I don't want all of the edges on this piece to be identical. Still trying to keep kind of that, we'll say, rustic feel to it, that everything's not the same. But I think this will actually do fairly well, and it'll probably pop out a little bit more after get some finish put on it. So for now, I am going to go ahead and take the orbital and start touching up everything, getting some of these burn marks off from the router. and we'll get this one step closer to finishing. And just like shop teacher used to say, you can use all those fancy electric tools you want, but before you're done, you're going to be doing it by hand. He was not wrong. There. That's got that edge cleaned up real nice. Got rid of all that burn. Give this a good once over. And there we go. Got rid of all that burn. Got a little bit of a knot right there, but nice, smooth. I took this down to, I think it's 150. Yeah, 150 grit. So I think we are now ready to clean this off and get a glue up. Here we are back at the laser again. Seems everything's got a little bit of engraving on it here from me. So what I'm going to do is put a verse on the front side of this. Seeing most of them have some sort of little verse, but I think I found a verse that everyone else and their mother ain't using. So let's see, actually I'm going to take this honeycomb out of there. Since this is a taller board, and you can kind of see how much I use this thing. This thing has turned into quite a handy little tool. Whether it's for prototyping or making finished work, and just the personalization aspects. So you can get one even if it's a lower power. I mean, you don't need this 50, 70 watt stuff for diodes that they got out there right now. Not many people need that, to be quite honest. But again, this is just a 10 watt. 10 watt will do a lot for you when it comes to just personalizing stuff and just giving your product a little extra something. So I will go ahead and get the engraving set up here, and we'll start to work. Laser's all done. Let's take a look, see what we got. Gonna hit it with some air here quick. Kill this godforsaken exhaust system. Man, is it loud. Probably need to clean it. Ah, silence. That's what I come out here for. And there we go. Doesn't get the greatest focus here, but you kind of get the idea. Let's get to gluing. And now I am not going to use any super glue on this. I'm just going to go straight glue and good old-fashioned clamping pressure. Get it spread on this a little bit. Trying to stay away from the edges a little because this one would be kind of a pain. To get any squeeze out from around. And I'm going to say right here, I'll stand this up, make sure everybody's resting decent. Hope my clamps, oh yeah, they'll get there. That should be there. And on this face, actually I should have done this on all of them. Because these clamps do tend to leave marks, which I am not a fan of. Okay, now I hurry up and wait so I can do a little bit more touch-up sanding to get those clamp marks off. I mean, the clamps are great, but something about this rubber material they use tends to leave horrible marks on the piece. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm not going to really complain for the price of the clamps. So we'll give this a little while to dry. We'll come back and see what kind of clamp damage we got. Got that all unclamped now. And here's what I mean. You can kind of see it. That is the marks the pads on those clamps leave. I don't know what exactly is in that rubber, but it didn't really mark it so much on this side, but you can definitely see the clamp marks on that side. So just mental note, you get them Harbor Freight clamps, might want to throw a little something between the clamp and the wood. But anywho, going to go ahead and knock this down here quick with some 150, get that mark off, and we'll clean it off and get to finishing. Yeah, sandpaper makes quick work of it. It looks like, nope, that's the grain. But yeah, that sandpaper makes pretty quick work of whatever that stuff is that marks it. So it's not the end of the world, but still dumb. So I'm gonna go ahead, hit this with some air, get her wiped down, and we'll throw a finish on her. Got her all cleaned up now. Gonna go ahead and give her a shot with the poppers finish. All right, we'll let that have a little bit to dry and come back and do some glamour shots. Got her all dried up here, and I'm fairly happy with how it turned out. Let's see if we can get a focus here, and you can kind of see some of the figuring in that maple. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this project. And the back looks pretty nice, even though I'm not really going to see that part of it. And I do like how these edges came out. If I could ever get a decent focus here. But I'll set up a different camera here and we'll get some closer shots of it. And we'll roll out the end of the video here. But do appreciate everyone for stopping in and hanging out with me. See you next time.